We'll get this going, I suppose. So, CoryxKenshin, for those of you guys who don't know, he was in the FNAF movie. You know, he's a popular YouTuber. He's got like a decent following. You know, he's actually got a pretty large following, actually. I shouldn't even say decent. He's like up there with your Markipliers and stuff. He's played FNAF before. He's played a lot of horror games. I remember CoryxKenshin back when he was only like a smaller channel. I actually remember him when he was like, I believe it was like almost 100K subscribers, but now he has like 22.5 million last I checked, which is a massive amount more than almost 100K. But he got some allegations against him. I gathered as many tabs as I could. This is what I came up with. I briefly looked at some of the stuff on Twitter. Apparently there was some fake stuff on Twitter. This seems to be the original accuser based on everything. This is the original accuser coming forward with the allegation, and I think someone on Twitter like pretended to, it made like a fake account of this exact accuser, and then like under the pretense of like walking back the accusations, and it's kind of convoluted. So I wanted to get everything here before I actually reported and reacted to everything overall. I haven't actually looked at the original allegations. I just wanted to get what I needed before I like react to it. And it seems like this is everything. There's like 6 TikTok tabs. There's also like a segment from Internet Versus that we can look at. So I'm curious. And then I guess we'll have a look. All right. So, please be kind. This is the description of the TikTok. Please be kind. This took everything in me to share. Most of my TikToks are joy, laughter, and moments and with my friends. That's how people know me. So if you're seeing this and wondering why it's different, it's because it is. I'm not doing a story time. My anxiety won't let me speak this out loud, so I wrote it instead. Okay, so do we know what the actual allegation is against Cory? The letter will be posted in multiple parts. Part 1 will be... Okay, so I have part 1 and part 2 in different tabs, and part 3. I don't know if I need more parts yet, so that's on standby for now. This wasn't easy. It's one of the hardest things I've ever shared besides my, my breast cancer journey. Gotcha. Okay, so this person is apparently a breast cancer survivor. Gotcha. Okay, so, hashtag CoryxKenshin, so we know this is directed at him. Hashtag my story. Hashtag emotional abuse. Hashtag toxic relationship. Hashtag love bombing. Hashtag survivor voice. Okay, so... a couple things right off the bat, right? A lot of people tend to conflate toxic relationships and abusive relationships. These are two different things, but on the internet, it's very interchangeable, unfortunately, and I think that's a very huge misconception. When I think of abusive relationships, right, emotional, physical, and like any other forms of abuse, I think of, like, in the more extreme case, you'll have, like, Kayla Malik's ex, who's Evan Johnson, who actually, like, physically and emotionally abused the fuck out of her. That's a very extreme story, and that was very horrific. And then you'll have, like, just a toxic relationship, which is, I would say, is a little more common, where both parties are just, like, toxic to each other, generally speaking, without, like, the intention of trying to degrade someone else. That's really what toxic relationships are, more so. It's like both parties doing it to each other, but also it's not with the intention of trying to degrade the partner. It's just like the sort of dynamic that's just formed, for many different reasons. It can happen for any number of reasons. But like, I'm just going to be real with you. If you went through emotional abuse, yes, it's more than toxic. But if you went through a toxic relationship, that doesn't necessarily mean it's emotional abuse. So I think it's important to make that distinction when looking at these hashtags. Also, when you put survivor voices, I don't know. I guess we'll see if she is a survivor of anything. Let's keep that on the back of our mind for the time being. But enough filibustering. Why don't we just watch the video?
Bacon avocado.
Bacon avocado. Uh-huh. So what does hurt you really bad mean? Like, what is that supposed to mean? What does hurt you badly mean? And I'm not the only one? What? I'm not the only one. So what do you... Okay, I mean... Alright, so listen, whenever people are vague about their allegations, I get skeptical almost immediately. Like, I tend to get very, very skeptical when people do that. It's one thing if this person isn't, I guess, ingrained in YouTube drama, but, like, I just don't understand why, like, what is the allegation? Okay, so, I don't know. I guess we'll find out in all the other parts. I just would have led with actually saying what the allegation is if it's true. So that's why I'm a little bit skeptical immediately, especially like given how the hashtags are. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna mute the music because one, it's probably copyrighted. Two, when you put somber music and you put all this stuff here, I don't know, man. I'm a little bit off-put by it because on one hand, it almost seems like you're trying to evoke an emotional response from people when you do stuff like this. When you post on the internet your story and then you add like a bunch of sad music on it and then you like include like all these, what appears to be some serious allegations of potential emotional abuse. And it just seems, I don't know, it just seems like you're trying to garner sympathy and I don't know, it just seems a little weird. It could be real, though, for all I know. It could definitely be a legitimate allegation, so I don't want to, come off like I'm victim blaming, but it's, like, it's just a very, like, I'm just so skeptical when people come forward on the internet with their stories about this stuff, because there's a lot of either fake allegations or very sensationalized allegations. I guess we'll read the, what we got here. The truth about your favorite YouTuber, sharing your story. This is part 1. I'm not doing a story time. I'm sharing what I lived. If it feels heavy, it's because it was. Okay, I mean, I feel like are we just reading, like, the first thing or whatever? Maybe I'm nitpicking too much. Maybe I'm too skeptical. I don't know. Part 2 drops late tonight. Please read with care. Content warning, non-graphic. Emotional plus mental abuse. Okay, so these are very serious claims. Manipulation, narcissistic behavior, love bombing. We're censoring abuse and love bomb. Is it because TikTok is like very sensitive with this, with these words? That's like the only reason why. But other than that, like, why are we censoring these words? Like, you could just like put them out there. Maybe it's because TikTok is like sensitive with these words, and so they'll like take down the video. Illness-related trauma, gaslighting, emotional abandonment, and status-fueled cruelty. No graphic details, but it's heavy. Okay. Hashtag survivor voices. Mental abuse, emotional abuse. I don't know, man. Alright, let's just see what we got. Maybe I'm being too skeptical. I don't know. Dear CoryxKenshin, I didn't want to do this, but I don't owe you my silence anymore. There's no clear way to start. Just that that familiar weight in my chest while the world kept applauding someone who never showed up for me. Listen, okay, you know what? Just by this alone and just by everything we've seen so far, I'm going to be absolutely real with you. I think I feel pretty safe in saying I don't think this is going to be the hyped up story that people think it is. This is generally, this is the uncomfortable conversation for people who like to talk about the nuance and things. I've already said in the beginning of this video, there is a massive difference between toxic relationships and abusive relationships. And based on how this is worded, if there was legitimate abuse, I feel like this would be worded in a very, very different way than the way it's being laid out here. I feel like so far, what might be the case is that this person probably went through a toxic relationship, and maybe she doesn't feel good about it. I'm not trying to invalidate her feelings about it, but, like, I don't know. It's so far based on the wording. You're saying applauded someone who never showed up for me. It almost just comes across like it's more toxic and not necessarily someone who abused you. So, I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. But that's just kind of the vibe I'm getting with, like, opening with all this information immediately. We'll see if it's, I don't know. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. I was never part of your world publicly. You made sure I stayed close just far enough to be invisible. Your followers eat up the whole man of faith image you push. Oh, yeah, right, because, like, CoryxKenshin, I believe, is religious, right? Like, he's a man of, like, God and stuff. Yeah, okay. I mean, like, obviously I have my opinions of religion, but I don't think it's going to come into play here necessarily. Maybe it will. But faith without basic decency isn't faith. It's branding. I don't know about that necessarily. It could be for some people. I don't think it is for Cory, though. It's just like, that's just like a background of what it's at. Like, he doesn't make his entire personality about being part of God. Like, he includes it in like some phrases here and there, but like his entire personality isn't about that. It's just about the gameplay. It's about like giving his opinion on the games and like his thought and just entertaining. That doesn't really seem like he's branding, but okay. You talk about devotion, but act like hurting people in private doesn't count. That's not devotion, that's hypocrisy. Did you like put this in like an AI or something and then just copy and pasted what you wrote in an AI and then put it here? I'm getting like, this feels very AI generated, and that could just be me personally. But, like, this feels like you... Like, listen, don't get me wrong. Using AI is not a bad thing. I use AI sometimes. You know, AI can be a very helpful tool. I use ChatGPT. It's good for information prompts. But when you become over-reliant to do everything for you, that's where I think it starts to become a problem. You can't be over-reliant on ChatGPT. And even when you do ask ChatGPT to give you information or to write something for you, you still have to write a good chunk of it in your own words. And you still have to write it in such a way that doesn't make it seem robotic. And I don't know. I'm getting huge vibes that this is AI generated. I don't know, but that could just be me. You fooled a lot of people, but not me. Okay. When I met you, I was at one of the lowest points in my life. I was still healing, still trying to remember how to love myself after going so long without it. I had all this love and nowhere to put it. You see, okay, this I wouldn't doubt. I don't think she's, like, lying necessarily. And that's not really the vibe I'm getting at here. I think this is just more of this is just more of how she feels, and so she's putting it out on the internet based on how she feels rather than the actual reality of the situation. I haven't, like, we need to see, like, legitimate abuse and legitimate proof that there's abuse, which I think she does provide later. But it kind of just seems like this is a hurtful, toxic relationship so far. That's kind of what I'm getting at so far. Not necessarily, I don't know if she's, like, maliciously lying, per se, but it's more just, like, it feels very... There's... I don't know. I don't think this is going to be, like, the hyped-up story that people think it is. That's kind of just, like, the vibe I'm getting. Even writing this now has me crying so hard I can barely breathe. The pain still lives in my body like it just happened yesterday. I'm not writing this because I still care. I'm writing this because I've carried too much in silence. I am getting such AI generation from this. Like, this is, like, I feel like she said, how can I write my story? She, like, put a prompt in ChatGPT, and then she's like, and then how can I write my story and put it on the internet in such a way that's helpful? Like, I'm getting such AI generation vibes from this. And then there's no background here with no text. You ghosted me not because you were confused, but to teach me a lesson. You made me feel like I had to shrink just to earn a reply. Every move was calculated, even if I couldn't see it back then. Anytime I tried to speak up, you twisted it into something wrong with me. And while I sat alone, replaying every word, breaking myself apart just to make sense of it, you are out here calling they were out here calling you a positive role model. What? Okay, can we, like, what specifically is happening? What specific? Okay, like I said, I'm so fucking skeptical whenever people are so vague about their allegations. Like, they are posting their allegations and saying and, like, alleging something, but, like, they don't dive deep into the allegation. Like, I'm very skeptical. They'll never know how many nights I cried quietly into my pillow, just trying to convince myself it wasn't too that bad, just so I wouldn't have to admit how deeply it broke me. Can we get something? You never mattered up. You never showed up when it mattered. You only came around when it was convenient, when you wanted to. Okay, so am I talking to the accuser, or am I reading what a fucking AI wrote? Like, please, I'm actually getting like a little bit frustrated, like reading this. Can we like actually see like some legitimate proof here, please? Like, I'm so sorry. I'm really trying hard not to like victim blame, but I get so fucking skeptical whenever people come forward with their stories and then they like are so vague about what they talk about, and then the internet just fucking eats it up because you have music playing on in the background, and it really comes across like you're trying to get sympathy from your audience. That's what this comes across to me as. And it would work on a lot of people because the music is sad and it covers some like supposedly heavy stuff. So like, please, can we just get something, and can I not? You never showed up when it mattered. You only came around when it was convenient. You wanted something easy when it was easy, but when I needed care, support, the bare fucking minimum, you vanished. That was your punishment. Silence, distance, disappearing like affection was something I had to earn. Like loving you too loudly. So, how is... I have yet to see how this is emotional abuse. Like, how is this emotional abuse? Like, is he... like actively degrading you? Is he actively saying that you're such a horrible fucking person? Is he doing some like I'm Alex shit where he's like actively insulting you and threatening to like bash your head against the wall with a brick or something, like very horrifically abusive shit? Because that doesn't seem like this is. It sounds like there was probably some codependency and maybe it was toxic. That's the vibe that I'm getting at from this. You treated my body, my heart, my time like they were things you could shelve and retrieve it whenever it suited you. Like I only existed when you needed to feel wanted. You made sure your absence cut deeper than your presence ever comforted. And the worst part, that kind of damage... Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm reading all of this. I feel like all of this is just... Okay, I'm skimming through all of this. This is all, like, just vague posting about, like, what he did to you. You're not actually going, like, in depth with what's happening. There's no emotional abuse here. And then came your one grand fucking gesture. Flowers, candy, a teddy bear, and a card. The first thing you ever bothered to give me. The last thing that felt remotely real. The card said, Nami... The way I feel about you is so real. You are so wonderful, so gentle and kind, not to mention sexy. Ahem. I miss you and hope... Okay, yeah, it sounds like he's trying to, like, repair a toxic relationship that may not be able to be repaired. You know, anyone who's been in, like, a legitimate relationship would understand. And yeah, that sucks. Don't get me wrong. That's probably hurtful. Like, toxic relationships are hurtful, generally speaking. They leave very lasting marks on people. But... again, toxicity and abuse are two different things. Two completely different things. It felt like maybe finally... Listen, this should have been a conversation with a family member, with a friend, with a therapist, with someone that could help you in your personal life. Coming forward on the internet with stories like this are very... If there was legitimate abuse, like dangerous abuse, then, which it doesn't seem to be the case according to your own story, just to be clear. But if there was legitimate abuse, you need to go to the police. Again, I know it's not perfect. I know the police aren't the greatest with this stuff, but it's sure as hell better than going to the fucking internet and like posting it where thousands of people can see it, and you're going to get opinions from all sorts of different people. You're going to get people that are going to over-affirm your story, which there's going to be a lot of that, who instantly believe the allegation and over-affirm it, or people that will just not believe any victims and downplay it and then, like, insult the shit out of you. And that can be an additional trauma. That's why I feel like I've gotten to a point where I'm of the opinion that we have to be very careful about how we come out with stories, or, like, if we should even come out with them at all, and whether or not it should be a private conversation amongst friends or amongst other people. That's what I think, and so far, what I'm reading is an AI-generated accusation, because this is very AI-coded. If you read all of this, you can tell that this person loaded this into ChatGPT and, like, probably said, like, what do I need to say? And you just copied and pasted it. And don't get me wrong, if you needed... It would be one thing if you needed an AI to help you frame certain aspects of your story. That's fine. You can use AI to aid you, but it still has to be in your own words. And based on what I'm seeing, it just feels like you copied and pasted a ton of shit into the AI. And then the next day, someone told me they saw you in California with another girl. Oh, cheating. Okay, yeah, I don't care about this. I'm gonna be real with you. Cheating's not good, and that's very hurtful, don't get me wrong. But cheating isn't abuse. It could be, it is toxic, but cheating is not abuse, just to be absolutely clear with you. And also, cheating allegations in general, when someone comes forward with a cheating allegation on the internet, again, I don't think it's good, but the people involved need to handle it. It shouldn't cancel someone's career. So I don't really care too much about this in that sense, to be honest with you. But you never said who you were going with, so I assumed it was your family. That's how it always was with you. Oh my god. Okay. But you snapped at me here. You said it was your sister. Got defensive. I wasn't accusing you of shit. I just wanted the truth. But your reaction said... Listen, again, if he cheated on you and lied about it, that's shitty. But again, talk to people in your life. Like, please don't come forward. Don't come forward with this on the internet. Because, like, because it seems like... I don't know if this is malicious necessarily. Like, it's possible that this girl got hurt at some point in her relationship. I wouldn't doubt that this girl probably was hurt in her relationship. I wouldn't doubt that. But so far, it just seems like this is a very... Like, this allegation is more feelings-based rather than the actual reality of the situation. And when you leverage a serious accusation, like emotional abuse... I don't know. I was very skeptical, and it turns out my skepticism is... I was right. Turns out I was right. That was the real you, not the sweet, funny persona you flashed on camera, just a selfish, image-obsessed coward who cared to... Okay. Okay. Now I think you're lying. Now I think this is malicious. Because now you're name-calling him, and now you're like, projecting your anger out onto him, and it seems like now you're trying to cancel his fucking career. Like, I was trying to sympathize with how hurt you might have been, which, again, I don't doubt that you were hurt in this relationship. But now, like, after reading this, where you're just insulting him now in your accusation, now I think you're just lying. Now I think you're doing this just to cancel his career, to be absolutely honest with you. I spent so long asking what was wrong with me, wondering if I could show up my whole heart and still not be good enough, trying to be softer, quieter, easier to love. But the truth is, I was never asking for too much. I was just pouring into someone who's never planning on... Dude, enough with this fucking AI generation. Okay, is there, like, any one of these... Enough with the music. Is there any one of these where it actually, like, legitimately goes into anything? That was just the beginning. Part 2 comes and only... Okay, so apparently part 2 gets heavier. I guess we'll read through it. She still has music playing in the background, which, again, I'm not really a big fan of, to be absolutely honest with you. Again, when you play music in the background in, like, allegations, it almost comes across like you're trying to prime your audience into feeling emotionally bad for you. And, like, I'm not gonna lie, when I previewed this very briefly, like, when I, like, had to play the TikTok and I heard the music briefly, if it was under any normal circumstance, I probably would have fallen for it. I probably would have actually felt legitimately terrible and bad. And I feel like any normal person would. So... I don't know, man. This is fucking insane. I guess we'll look at it. We'll see what we got. Also, I'm showing my OBS on accident. What the fuck am I doing? Holy shit. I'm so sorry. I was checking my OBS for a moment to see if the volume was good. But it turns out it is. I think it should be. If my mic is too loud in this video, because I remember when I was doing the reaction video to the Confederate flag debate, maybe I was too close to the mic. So I tried to move the distance away from my mic to see if maybe that would help. I also have a pop filter on, so hopefully that helps. But I guess we'll see. Alright, part 2, where it gets worse. And then came the Xbox messages. It wasn't even what you said. It was how you casually said it. Like nothing you'd ever done had ever left a scar. Like you hadn't already shattered me once and just gotten bored. Okay, so we're actually seeing some legitimate evidence here. CoryxKenshin II, offline. Alright, so she says, okay, so what's up? You still seeing someone? Why do you ask? Because I'm trying to fuck your life up some more. Okay. That's... I mean, what is the context behind that? What? That was a joke. Jeez, lol. I was just asking. Yeah, I mean, it just seems like a harmless joke. You know, like, a lot of people banter in relationships all the time. It just seems like a harmless joke. Never heard you curse before. That's why it threw me off. Oh, okay. Like it was funny, like it was cute. As if the pain you caused the first time wasn't real. The confusion, the trauma, the fucking aftermath. All just a joke now that you were bored again. My chest locked up. I wasn't even surprised. Just furious you still had the audacity to crawl back in my life. Welcome. Like I'd let you ruin me for your own entertainment. You didn't come back to make things right. You came back because you fucking... because fucking with me made you feel powerful. Because you knew I used to let you in. Because you counted on the damage you did to keep me soft. Because you thought I'd be too broken to bite back. Okay, so more DMs. Because I wanted you. Wanted me how? Like how I've had you. Like in a relationship type of way or something else? Like something else. That's kind of messed up. I wasn't a toy. I know that. I wasn't just about to message you after a year and a half to be my girlfriend. Oh, okay, so he's like asking to fuck her, basically. Like being friends with benefits. Okay. I mean, sure, like, whatever. I mean, like, again, unless Cory was like leveraging his power here, I don't really care about this. You could have just easily said no. I mean, which you kind of did. You said that's kind of messed up. I wasn't a toy. Again, you are setting some boundaries here, so I don't necessarily care too much about this. But I guess I was just a good fuck for you. Hey, I mean, some men do be gooners. You know what I mean? Sorry, maybe that's a little inappropriate given the content here. When you said relationship, I thought you meant I was just going to ask you out. Nah. I mean, you were. That's not all you were. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You're with someone. Okay, I mean, sure. That's how it felt at the time, even if I wasn't. I wouldn't have let you again. And when I did that with you is something I just don't do with anyone. You wouldn't have let me fuck again, lol. No, I wouldn't. Okay. Again, they're probably just, like, talking it out. Like, again, I'm not seeing any emotional abuse here. This is kind of insane. I'm glad. I'm the same. I don't give a fuck. And I don't fuck anyone. Double bummer. The difference between you and I is I thought that I don't do it with just anyone because I was sexually abused. I'm not saying that for you to feel bad or whatever, but for you to understand. I know, you told me that. I didn't know. I got lumped in the category. Where's the emotional abuse here, by the way? You said it gets so much worse here. We're like several screenshots in. Where's the emotional abuse here? Like, none of this is emotional abuse. This is just you guys talking out, like, boundaries and, like, working stuff out even though you guys aren't dating. He clearly wanted to fuck. Like, that was, as we saw in the DMs earlier, and you set a boundary. You said, hey, that's kind of messed up. I don't want to do that. And, like, yeah, okay, that's fine. That's completely fine. But, like, why does this matter? Why does this need to become, like, who cares about any of this? Because I was being used for that. I guess that time when you told me how you felt not real too. Bro, I'm going to be real with you. This girl is definitely coming out, like, I don't know. I feel like she's coming forward with this because she's trying to cancel Cory, to be honest with you, for some really, really dumb bullshit based on how she feels rather than the actual reality of the situation. There's no emotional abuse here. This is fucking insane. You guys, this is insane. Do you hear yourself? You knew I'd survive SA. He didn't say anything about your SA here. So, wait, hold on. This gets even stranger. Because if you look at this DM, right, I had to, like, look at it for a good amount of time. I'm probably going to have to edit it in post. But, she says, I don't just do it with anyone because I was sexually abused. And then he says, I know, you told me that. I didn't know I got lumped into the category with the person that did that. I don't think she was implying that, but, I mean, I guess maybe he was just, like, trying to explain. I don't know. Because I was being used for that. So, wait. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm not understanding something. When you say because I was being used for that and you're talking about being sexually abused, I don't know all the details about that alleged sexual abuse, so I can't really say for certain, but if the extent of the sexual abuse is you being used for sex, you realize that that's not sexual abuse on itself, right? You realize, like, if you're, like, consensually hooking up with a guy or whatever, which we don't know the extent of it, so I can't really say for certain whether it is or it isn't sexual abuse, but if this is what you're referring to, then that on its own wouldn't be sexual abuse. You realize that, right? I don't know. To me, so far, and this is the interpretation I'm getting, maybe I'm incorrect on this, to me, so far, it just seems like she feels really upset after the toxicity that she went through in this relationship and the relationship prior. And she feels like it's worse than it actually is. Maybe someone else told her it was worse than it actually was, or because it's just how she feels, and then she came forward with it on the internet to seemingly cancel Cory for this, which so far, based on what I'm seeing, I don't think this is, like, I'm not seeing anything, like, super cancel worthy. You knew I'd survive, SA. You knew how hard it was to feel safe in my own body, and you used that as... Okay, so just to be clear, he didn't leverage you. Now you're just lying. Now you're lying here. He wasn't leveraging his power, and he wasn't using anything as leverage for anything. Like, I now feel like, now you're just maliciously lying here, to be absolutely honest with you. Like, I'm really trying to sympathize. I really am, but you're just like, it's lie after lie and exaggeration after exaggeration based on how you feel about the situation rather than what actually happened. Threw it in my face like I should be flattered. He didn't really do that, but okay. You didn't want me, you wanted access. The version of me who froze when things... Dude, can we stop with this AI-generated bullshit, please? This is literally just AI-generated, like nonsense. I can tell that you put this in ChatGPT and fucking put it out there. I can just tell by looking at it. I use ChatGPT. I know how ChatGPT fucking talks. I know the wording that ChatGPT uses. I'm a ChatGPT user myself. And again, I don't think using AI is wrong, but you have to put it in your own words to some extent. When I pushed back, you got defensive. I don't know why I'm lumped into that category. Fuck you. You put yourself... No. Cory did not sexually abuse you. If that's what you're insinuating, which it definitely seems like you are insinuating that to some extent. You definitely are when you word it that way. You definitely... You're just lying. Like, you're trying to come at this with the energy that he's some kind of abuser, that he's some kind of horrific person. And, like, he may have some toxic elements, but that doesn't mean he is guilty of abuse. What the fuck are you talking about? And you crossed lines when you had no right to. And you were doing exactly... And you knew exactly what you were doing. Then you tried to backpedal like everything could be undone if you called it a mistake. But it wasn't a mistake. It was you being you. Whatever. Alright, backpedal. You were never used for sex. I need to make sure you understand that. I loved you. Like I said, you didn't have my shit together. You loved me? How is that possible? Okay, yeah, it seems like you guys had some codependency and toxicity. That's really what I'm getting at from this. Then you had the nerve to say, I loved you back then. I just didn't have my shit together. Really? You had the money, the platform, the fans, the house, the car, everything. Okay, so just to be clear, just because someone's famous doesn't mean they're happy. Fame and money and fans don't make you happy. That's why, like, and if that was the case, then Avicii wouldn't have fucking killed himself. Just to be absolutely clear. Like, you understand this, right? And I'm not trying to use Avicii's suicide as, like, a fucking... like, way to get, like, pity points or whatever, obviously, like, that would be disgusting, but, like, I'm just using it as an example to counter this exact point, that Avicii clearly was unhappy in his life, even though he had a lot in his life. The difference between being famous and not being famous is night and day. You live such a different life, compared to, like, being a normal person or being a famous person where everyone recognizes you, you're, like, a big famous figure, etc., and, like, that can be a lot of stress onto somebody. But the fact that you're implying this really is just, it kind of shows that you may not, like, understand the gravity of what you're actually talking about. Again, this should have been a conversation with a therapist or a family member or a friend, not something you come forward with on the internet. Is there anything else we need to... I'm going to be real with you. I don't think there's anything else she can show that would get me to, like, change my opinion on this, unless we actually see some legitimate leveraging of his power or legitimate abuse. This just seems like a very, very toxic relationship. I'm just skimming through this very briefly because a lot of this is just AI-generated nonsense that's just repeating the same thing over and over again. So, like, I don't know how much more of this we really need to read. Okay, let me read this one. What would you do if the nurse called your name and the moment you sat down, the world stopped making sense? Breast cancer, stage 3A, aggressive. Alright, you know what? I'm not trying to be that guy. I really am just not trying to be an asshole, but it's like... You're including your breast cancer, being a breast cancer survivor, in your series of allegations. And don't get me wrong, cancer is terrible. I am happy you survived cancer. Cancer is fucking terrible, and fuck cancer. I'm happy you survived it. I really am. But holy fuck, why are you including this in your series of allegations? What are you talking about? You're staring at the doctor's mouth, but the sound's already gone. No tears, just shock, like your soul stepped out of your body. Heart slamming against yours, tunnel vision. Thoughts collapsing under... Why is this here? Why are you including this? You're isolated, terrified, too stunned to tell more people, a handful of people, because you barely believe it yourself. You walk out knowing your life is shattered, yet somehow you have to keep walking. I reached out for people for comfort, not for comfort, but for closure. Oh my god. This is just more AI-generated slop. Like, listen, again, I'm not trying to dog whistle that you should have fucking died from cancer, obviously. That's obviously not what I'm trying to insinuate. Again, I'm happy you survived it, okay? I really am. Breast cancer is no joke. It really is not. But please, holy fuck, this did not need to be included in your series of allegations against Cory. This has nothing to do with it. The only reason I feel like you're including this is, like, again, the music, the fucking, just everything. It just feels like the music, the trigger warnings, and just everything that you're including just feels like a massive fucking attempt to grab sympathy. So just to cancel Cory for how you feel about him, basically. So I reached out to you. I didn't reach out because I was weak. I did it because if my time was up, I wasn't taking your unfinished damage with me. And what did you say? That was the most passive-aggressive cancer reveal ever, lol. What? Okay. Do we even know if this is from him? Because, like, you lied earlier in this document. Just to be clear, you did lie earlier. You're not showing who this DM is from. You're not showing, like, you're not showing the other context. You're not showing what you said to him. You're just showing one DM that's supposedly from Cory. We don't even know if it's from Cory. And you're just saying, like, what is the... I need more than this. That wasn't just fucking... Are we just not going to get more context? Is that it? Is that all the fucking proof that he... Like, is supposedly he, which we don't even know if it was him? Holy fuck, dude. Holy fuck, man. I don't know how much more of this we need to read. Like, I'm skipping through this. It just feels very... What is this? Oh my gosh. It is fucking storming outside. Please, excuse me, I'm recording this in the middle of the rain. Maybe it's one of those days. Okay, part 3 comes next. Okay, I'm skimming through all of these. None of this is very relevant, to be absolutely honest with you. Like, a lot of it is just AI generated. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll read part 3. We're gonna keep reading. Let's see what we got. Okay, I muted the music. Part 3, hold up. Part 3, they were watching me too. This is the end of my letter. This was everything. If you read to the end, then you understand the full truth. Well, so far the full truth is that you were likely in a toxic relationship and there was no emotional abuse. It was just the toxicity between the two of you. You're saying he's a narcissist. So if we look back, emotional, mental manipulation, narcissistic behavior, love bombing. It just it seems like a lot of this is toxic. I wouldn't call him a fucking narcissist. That's a very huge oversimplification of what this actually is. It's very black and white. Dude, shut up. Shut up. Power imbalance. Okay, this point is not going to matter unless we see him leveraging his power against you. Okay, this point is not going to matter. I don't care that he was famous and you weren't. I don't give a shit about that. I don't care. I do not care. Okay, if you can show him leveraging his power, then I'll listen to you. But so far, we're not seeing any of that. Status, fuel, cruelty, too. And then you put fucking Survivor in your hashtags. I remember that from the very beginning. You put Survivor in the very first hashtag. You are not a survivor of abuse. Okay, that's insane to me. That is fucking nuts. Oh my god. How much more of this do I need to read? So I asked, oh, you're a fan of Cory. She said, yeah. I said, I'm not. She followed up with why. It came off like a curious question. Like maybe she knew more than she was letting on. But I wasn't about to assume. So I kept it short. We dated. It didn't work out. I didn't realize... This is probably true, by the way. We dated and it didn't work out. I didn't realize how she even found out until later. After that post in our conversation, something felt off. So I did some digging and saw she was following you on Xbox. That's when it clicked. She must have found me through Xbox. I don't know how many others she did that. Why does this matter? Okay. Why does this matter? Is this what you meant earlier when you said there were others? Do you know the specifics of what happened between his relationship and her specifically? At the time, she hadn't done anything weird. She seemed nice, just another follower showing support. We had light conversations, nothing alarming. She liked some posts, messaged here and there. And when you're a creator, that kind of thing happens all the time, so I didn't overthink it. The vibes was off, like she was watching more than connecting. I didn't have proof, just a gut feeling, and I should have listened to it. Then the anonymous Instagram account showed up. They started calling her out directly. At first, the way it was worded made it sound like I was part of the problem too. Well, you kind of are, to be honest with you. You are kind of part of the problem because you are coming forward with a story that's leveraging a lot of very heavy things like emotional abuse, narcissistic behavior, when so far, all we've seen so far is just a toxic relationship between two different people and an alleged DM of Cory saying the most passive-aggressive cancer reveal, even though we don't even know if that's actually Cory himself. We also can't see the conversation of what led to him saying that, so it's very out of context. We don't have any information beyond that it's just some random DM that your friend probably could have sent to you for all you know, because you lied about some things earlier. Just rewind the video. It's just it's just the vibe of this is very strange to me. They listened. They removed the part about me. That's when they clarified they weren't trying to come for me. They were trying to warn me, and they were calling N out. Who the fuck is N? I mean, I skipped over a lot of stuff earlier, because a lot of this really does not matter in the grand scheme of things, to be, like, brutally honest with you. They didn't have my full story, but they knew enough to see that you weren't good to me. And somehow N knew, too, before she even interacted with me. That's when things started to click. Because this wasn't new behavior, N had done this before. Turns out she had a reputation in your space, though I didn't know that then. I was still assuming someone, especially you, might step down and shut the chaos down. This woman seems like she just has a lot of fucking baggage on her, and she needs to just talk to a fucking therapist. You need to just talk to a fucking therapist, please. Just talk to a therapist. Don't talk to someone... Like, don't come forward on the internet trying to cancel someone and turn it into something that it very clearly is not. Please, just talk to a therapist. Honestly. The account eventually explained their full intent. They wanted the truth out about you mostly, but also about N. For the cruel, manipulative shit she was doing in your community, inserting herself into the lives of the women you were connected to, digging, meddling, and twisting things. What the okay, whatever. N messaged you directly, tried to paint her own version of the story, and where I was the problem. Again, this just seems like toxicity. Like, what the fuck? What is happening? And not long after that, one of your close friends, Brandon, someone who had never acknowledged me, suddenly started watching my Instagram stories like clockwork. I'm gonna speed run through this. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna speed run this because a lot of this just does not matter. No apology, no courage, just surveillance. And although I hate drama, and this was never something I wanted to be part of, especially when I was minding my own damn business, it started to feel like a sign, a push I didn't ask for but maybe needed. And looking back, I'm grateful because of that. I met others. The other women you hurt, one by one, I got introduced to them. Women with stories, women with messages. Do we know who these women are? I just don't even believe you, to be honest with you. The only proof that you have shown is proof that you guys were in a toxic relationship. Not necessarily, and like a message that Cory, it might have been Cory, we don't know. And then you showed like an Instagram story where this Brandon guy looked at you, but that's like the only proof that you've ever shown. You never actually shown like deep reactions beyond that. Like, what the fuck? They are not alone because everyone deserves that moment. That's what, okay. I'm going to be real with you. This entire thing is very diminishing to actual legitimate survivors of abuse. Like, it's one thing to go through a toxic relationship and feeling very hurt. I wouldn't doubt that this woman legitimately feels hurt by this, but like to call it emotional abuse is it's a fucking insult to women who have been through emotional abuse, who have been through legitimate narcissistic behavior. You're just speaking over their voices, and you're calling yourself a survivor even though you very clearly are not a survivor. And I just don't think we need to read any more of this, to be absolutely honest. Like, I'm skimming through most of this. Again, it's just more AI generated stuff. It's like, what else is here? No extra words, no permission, no apology, just truth. Yeah, I don't think we need to read any more of this, to be honest. Like, what else do you have that could possibly change the outcome of this story? All right, what is this? What do we got? Okay, so POV, you didn't know this was one of the videos you'd look back on and realize he never cared. He just wanted... Okay, what do we got here?
I'm still on.
I'm still on.
Then I woke up again and it was off.
Did you watch me sleep?
Hmm?
Did you watch me sleep?
Yeah, I actually did something to you while you were asleep too.
What?
I'm sorry. I just got this fetish that I do. You know.
What?
I didn't hurt you. You're good, right?
What'd you do, Corey?
Don't worry about it.
Corey?
Good.
Corey, what did you do?
You do nothing. Look, this came right in my face. I didn't do anything.
So, what exactly am I supposed to take away from this? That you guys are just having a friendly interaction? Like, he's being very playful with you, and you're just laughing, and you're engaging back with him. Where's the emotional abuse? Where's the toxicity? Where's the toxicity even amongst you? This is the video you used as your proof?
I did something, and I'm gonna find out on the next episode of
Dragon Ball Z. Where you
This woman... Alright, I'm going to get to the very end of it, and then I'm going to give, all my final thoughts, because this is crazy. Okay, what do we have here? The timing wasn't about views or his career. This is... Oh, my God. You literally... This is just, this is more just ChatGPT stuff. Oh, my God. You guys are just... You guys are kissing together and having fun. This is the proof that he was emotionally manipulative and he's a narcissist to you? Are you fucking serious? What? Okay, let's go to this final segment. I swear to God, Corey better have fucking, he better have fucking bludgeoned your head or something in this final part of the allegation, or else I'm gonna, go off on a tangent about how much I wasted my fucking time looking through this. This is a segment of, I think she went on, this guy's TikTok live to talk about the allegations. This is a segment I got from Internet Versus, so shout out to you. I'm not going to watch the entire Internet Versus video. I'll leave it in the sources in the description below. So you guys, if you want to watch the full thing, go ahead. But I'm just going to watch this segment here, and I guess I'll just give my take on it. Let's see what we have. I'll put it in full screen as well.
People have reposted it. People are already putting captions on it, saying whatever they want, adding essay to it, and doing just crazy stuff. So I feel like, would you...
Yeah, there was definitely no sexual assault. There wasn't even any emotional abuse at all, based on her own story that she shared. It, like I said, it just seemed like a toxic relationship between two parties.
Be willing to make a post that just clarifies, and it's I'm not accusing him of that.
Am I speeding this up? Yeah, let's speed this up a little bit.
Because I do feel, because even though you never said that he did that, now that that's out there, I do, that's kind of that's crazy. So,
yeah, I mean, a lot of people will sensationalize allegations, even if the accuser themselves doesn't sensationalize the allegations. A lot of people, the internet is very high energy with a lot of things, so that sort of thing unfortunately does happen. And yeah,
I feel like it's not fair to me either, because I didn't specify that. I didn't say that.
No, you did. You never said that. But like I said, with what they said.
Well, she definitely accused him of being. She kind of insinuated that he was some sort of sexual abuser in some capacity. Because if you go back in the screenshots in her original post, right, she insinuated that he was lumping him there in the same category. So I don't know. It just seems like a bit of a discrepancy in your narrative, just a little bit. Again, I don't really believe a lot of what this woman says. This seems very sensationalized, and I feel like she is lying a little bit here. But once I get through this segment, I'm gonna recap all my thoughts, because this is there's a lot I have to say, but I don't want to say the wrong thing in case maybe just on a small chance maybe there's something here that'll change my mind. I highly doubt it though. It's very unlikely.
Because that video is so because of what he says in it. I know you said that you posted the video because it was a good moment between y'all, but because of what he says in it, people were able to make a jump, some logical leap, even though you never said it. I'm not claiming that you did say that he did that, but they were able to make a jump because of how that video comes off. I guess it would. I don't know.
I mean, maybe. I mean, she did kind of say that they were in the same category, but like if you actually read through all the allegations, you would come to the conclusion that it was a toxic relationship and that a lot of what she was writing was generated by a fucking AI. I used ChatGPT, and everything she was doing was written by ChatGPT. So I'm gonna, I don't know, keep watching.
To be honest with you, like, I never, like, I feel, okay, how do I say this? I feel like because people didn't really read thoroughly through the whole thing.
There's not really much of a reason to read through every single facet of it because you regurgitate the same things, and a lot of the points that you brought up don't really matter and didn't need to be brought to the internet.
Agree with that part. Because, like I said, me reading it...
I read enough. I will say that. I feel like I read enough information and got the information that I needed from it.
You never say anything about SA, but I do also agree with, like, that video is just not the... Like, it does, like... It was able, if that video didn't exist, they wouldn't have been able to make such a crazy jump. And I don't necessarily think that that's your fault because they didn't read. They chose not to read. But the internet is the internet. So like now that mistake has happened, and if you don't want him to have such crazy, egregious claims on him, I do think that is worth clearing up.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree with this. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we saw her clear it up yet. I mean, she privated her Twitter and she hasn't posted anything on her TikTok. I'll double check. Is there, like, anything else? Oh, did she, Wait, I think she posted other stuff.
I just really want to make this clear.
Okay, yeah, wait, no, she actually did post something. We can watch it maybe in a moment, but,
That's just me personally. Because if you do, especially if you care about what you actually said in the thing, you shouldn't even want people to be, like, mixing that in. You know what I'm saying?
Initially, that's like, you know, yeah, I understand. Initially, that's not how my...
However, she did eventually make a post on her story, not a separate individual post, when Turab tweeted out saying, also, this was already given context.
So for clarification, he did not SA me. Well, there you go. No sexual assault happened. All right. Okay, so what do we have here? Let me just refresh this. I'm going to speed this up.
I just really want to make this clear that, and this is very important, I'm saying this literally with all my heart.
So apparently she released this like 3 hours ago.
This was never about defaming Cory at all.
Yes, then why'd you come forward with it? Why'd you come forward with it?
It literally was me venting about something that happened to me in the past that did hurt me.
You literally, okay. If you look through this, this wasn't easy. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to share besides my breast cancer journey. You're literally writing this because you're acting as if you're a survivor of emotional abuse. And when you leverage such serious claims of saying he abused you, you have to understand that the internet is going to look into it and they're going to take those kinds of claims very seriously. And based on what you've shown us, there's no form of abuse here at all.
I felt at that moment.
I'm going to 2x speed this. I don't feel like there's going to be anything here, but I'll give it a chance.
That I wanted to share with people that may have similar experiences like I did. And that's basically it.
We don't know anyone who has similar experiences to what you did. Again, it was a toxic relationship. We don't know if Cory interacted with anyone else. That's just an assertion you made.
So basically what I'm going to show you now is everything pertaining to the situation. As proof, this was literally not intended to attack or have attacks towards Cory. So please stop the essay allegations.
You literally insulted him in your allegations. Okay, this is once again another slip up in your narrative. If you go back through like one of your stories, hold on, let me find it. So guys, listen to what she claims here.
As proof, this was literally not intended to attack or have attacks towards Cory. So
okay, so this was not intended to attack or have attacks on Cory. Then what is this? I don't know why why does TikTok fucking do this? I hate browser TikTok. In her story, in her part 2 of her story, I don't know why I'm lumped into that category. Fuck you. You put yourself there. What the fuck is that supposed to be then? Is that not supposed to be an attack on Cory? How come you're literally insulting him by saying fuck you to him if you're saying that it wasn't meant to be an attack on him? This is kind of a slip up in your narrative. You understand this, right?
please stop the essay allegations towards him. That is not true, and that's not what I said.
All right, well, at least you're clearing up the essay part, because you sort of insinuated it, but you never actually outwardly say he essayed you. But I mean, I guess it's good to clear that part up. I guess
there was no cheating or pregnancy.
What are you talking about? You literally alleged that there was cheating in your part 2. You said that there was another girl. What are you talking about? You literally said that. What do you mean? Oh my god.
There was no editing of messages. Those were literally rumors.
Don't we just love it when people change their story entirely? Don't you love it when people just walk back and change certain aspects to their story entirely? Just because the internet is scrutinizing it a lot more, which she very obviously knew was the case.
That they made you guys believe because they were trying to bring traction to their content. Or other creators or whoever was trying to say something or do something. I literally said, and I'm emphasizing this because people keep thinking that this is what I wanted and this is not what I wanted. But I literally was not looking for follows or attention or any.
Yes, you were. That's why you came forward with it on TikTok. And that's why you leveraged that you were a survivor and you added all the hashtags to it. Why, how come, who the fuck adds hashtags to their videos if they're not trying to get attention? What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, you were.
Hello, I literally just posted it just from my experience and to heal from my experience.
So do that offline. If you really were hurt, which again, I wouldn't doubt that you were legitimately hurt if it was a toxic relationship, but based on a lot of the evidence you saw, I think when you say toxicity, it was pretty tame in comparison to a lot of toxic relationships I've seen. Talk to someone offline about it then. Talk to a fucking therapist.
I just want to address the fake messages that have been going around, or tweets, or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah, there was the fake Twitter account. Yeah, we get this. I'm going to skip past this part, because, yeah, there was a fake Twitter account that went on trying to retract claims, which made the claims more confusing, so we're just going to skip past that.
And the up is not fair to him or me. Because it was not about that at all.
It's not about what?
Because made up is not fair. That content creators made up is not fair to him. And that content creators made up is not fair to the false allegations against Cory.
Oh, it was the false allegations. Okay, cool. Whatever.
I have no friends involved in this. It's my experience, y'all. People who claim to be friends, unless said by me, are just looking for attention.
Well, it appears to be that you're kind of looking for attention as well. You know what I genuinely think? I think, and I know a lot of people are going to think that this is weird. I think this is a weird, strange, obscure thirst trap. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, Icon, what are you fucking talking about? That's a very weird thing to insinuate. Well, if you look at her page, right, you look at her profile picture, I'm a bit of a fucking gooner myself, okay? I can tell when a woman or someone is trying to present themselves in a way that is fucking provocative. So, like, you look at her profile picture, it's very much in that way, but you look at all of her other stories, yeah, I don't know. There's not, like, an excessive amount. But, like, in this particular allegation she put out, she heavily does her makeup. She's doing her lashes. She's doing her eyebrows. Again, I don't have a problem with women who do this, by the way, just to be clear. I love women who take care of themselves, by the way. Hot take. I love that. But also, like, but it's, like, compared to all the other stories that you put out there, it seems like you're just trying to make yourself look you're not presenting yourself in the same way that you're presenting yourself when you make allegations, is the point I'm trying to make. So I wouldn't doubt that this is like some weird fucking thirst trap. I know people are going to think that I'm weird for that, but if you can't see it that way, I don't know what else to tell you. That's what it kind of feels like to me. I don't know.
That's basically it. Literally making rumored lies is crazy to me because it's likely trolls and creators making this a trend. Like, literally, that's exactly what's happening. And
well, you did lie a couple times yourself, so I don't know what you're talking
or
about.
literally editing, making false messages,
Okay, enough with the fucking music. I'm just gonna...
fake accounts, and false things. So please be aware of that. Please.
Now, y'all, this is a screen recording on my phone. Everything I showed is the same shit, so let's move to the next stuff. Okay, hey, you still hate me? Just waking up, do you still hate me? I don't hate you. Is that all I know? No. It was a joke. Okay, so this was a lot of the DMs is just the same stuff. I'm gonna mute the music just so I don't get, like, a fucking copyright claim. Didn't like who I was before, evolved. Yada, yada, yada. Not fully. Was a scared little boy. Why? Still figuring out who I am, but I'm... okay, when I'm trying to fucking read the conversation, you're just adding text in front of your own proof. Like, why do you have it laid out like this? I know I'm nitpicking, but it's like, come on. I'm trying to read the fucking proof. It's, like, very annoying the way you have this laid out. I always felt nerdy / shy around you, people in general. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that Cory feels this way. Yeah, he probably is. Like, if you've watched his videos, he's very much like that in his fucking videos. Okay, I mean, you were, but that's not all you were. Anyway, it doesn't matter, you're with someone. Okay, we read all this. We read all these. Is that it? I never said I was essayed by him in the first place. Okay, sure. Is there anything else you posted? What is this video? Never in my life did I think my crazy ex-roommate would make me come online to defend a man. Why are y'all falsely accusing people from 8 years ago? This is what makes it harder for people to levy actual allegations. I mean, yeah, that's probably true. Alright, look, I don't think we need to watch this, and I'm going to be real with you. I don't think Cory needs to make a response to these allegations. These allegations are, what it boils down to is just a toxic relationship. But in the original allegations, you leverage that he was narcissistic, that he was abusive, and this whole thing is just one giant fuck you to survivors who have been through legitimate abuse, legitimate narcissistic people. This whole thing is just one giant fuck you to those people. And quite frankly, I think it's fucking insulting that you call yourself a survivor when you have provably lied in a lot of your narrative, and you've slipped up in a lot of your narrative. And that you are lying about your intentionality with it when you AI generated your entire fucking story just to leverage at him, but all the proof that you show of us at worst is some toxicity and codependency, but that's about it. The videos you showed of us, you two were both very fine with each other. You both were smiling and happy with each other. There's no fucking physical abuse, and yet the fucking internet just instantly believed the allegation because they don't want to look into anything themselves, and they just want to fucking virtue signal and look good in front of everyone in their whole platform. Like, holy fuck, dude. Why do we platform people like this? Why do we fucking, and yet people are fucking bored because they have nothing else to talk about, so they just platform shit like this. Don't fucking put shit like that, don't make shit like this blow up anymore, okay? Don't make shit like this blow up anymore. Like, I'm actually getting legitimately fucking triggered because these are people's fucking lives. These are people's lives, dude. And you're coming out here with this story and you're spreading awareness because you want to look good, not because you actually give a fuck about victims who have went through legitimate, horrific fucking abuse. Or you've got to be fucking kidding me right now. And now, because people online, especially, I see content creators who, there's like a market of content creators who sensationalize allegations, and there are Twitter accounts dedicated, and TikTok accounts as well, dedicated to just virtue bullying people. Like, holy fuck, dude, chill the fuck out, and yet people were inserting that there was some sexual assault. Like, chill the fuck out. Why do we have to overload every single conversation with the worst kinds of fucking narratives possible? Seriously, I don't understand it. I don't understand why people have to do... Why can't people just do the bare minimum and look into it themselves if they want the actual fucking story themselves? Why can't people just do the bare minimum? Because these are people's fucking lives that they're, like, fucking around with. But they want to... Most people that talk about this stuff don't actually care. They just want to virtue bully and look good in front of a group of people or an audience because they feel good in doing it and they look good. Holy fuck, dude. It's like what goes through these people's brains is, what can I do possibly? I have nothing going on in my life, and so I'm bored as shit because no one else fucking loves me in my life, so what can I possibly do to fucking pearl clutch about a series of allegations that alleges a whole bunch of things when this person actually doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about? Whatever, dude. We're doomed as a society. If this is the kind of shit we're platforming, we're fucking doomed.